Okay, establishing a communication policy. So the communication, or we can say that the employee of the communication is very important in the organization. Communication helps individuals and groups coordinate activities to achieve goals, and it's vital in socialization, decision making, or problem solving, or we can say that the change management process. So internal communication also provides the employees about their jobs, organization, environment, and each other. So, internal communication also gives the employees with the important information about their jobs and the organizations, uh, organization environments where they can help each other. So, communication can be help motivate and build a trust and create a shared productivity. So, the organizational communication, we can say that the one important aspect in the business. So, organizational communication is one of the essential prerequisites for the building a successful business. So, its impact on employee engagement, collaboration, workplace trust, and employee experience. So, makes it an important part of every workplace strategy. So, first one is a comprehensiveness. To avoid employee confusion, the policy should apply to any form of electronic communication by the employee having a nexus with the workplace. So, including a mail, instant messages, web postings, blogs, and news groups, messages boards, social networking sites, virtual boards, or any other form of electronic communication or interaction. So, comprehensive means including or dealing with all the nearly or eliminated so aspects of something that we can cover everything over there. Avoid undue restrictions. A blanket prohibition on a personal electronic communications by employees may appear to be the simplest policy. So, however, such as a prohibition may be unrealistic. A company should seek a balance the necessity of the restrictions on employee communication with the ability of employees to engage in a dialogue outside the workplace. So when your business policies and a procedure changes, communicating these with policies, employees is essential to avoid costly mistakes and errors. So depending on the nature of the policy or procedure, that's the being changed. There could be legal and financial consequences if the organization does not comply. So consider the risk posed by the employees. Lower level employees may possess far less critical information, and their communications are far less likely to result in a legal and a non-legal liability for the company. So higher level employees, executives, and professionals who have access to sensitive information and deal with the clients or the public present correspondingly higher risk to the company. So responsibility and access increases, so too should restrictions on independent outside communications by the employee. A company may wish to monitor senior level employees' communications more closely or require a prior approval by designated officers. But if the company must have a basic conduct standard so that can apply to all the employees. And while establishing the communication policy, incorporate the general policies. So most companies have a variety of general policies regarding employees' conduct. These policies should be incorporated by the reference into the company's electronic communications policy, and when necessary, they will mention in a relevant provisions of the electronic communication policies. So that determine who is going to be affected by the new work policies. So it might not be only be your employees, so but also stakeholders such as clients, partners, and the wider community. This will help you determine how and when to communicate your company policy and procedure changes. So, clarity. Many companies assumes that employees know what is and is not an appropriate communication. So, likewise, many employees will assume that the that what they say and do outside of the work is none of the company's business. To avoid these problems, the policy should delineate its scope and boundaries. The policy should also be clear about what communication is prohibited. So, when communicating policies and procedures in the workplace, it should be clear, concise, and easy to understand. So, be straightforward about why the change is necessary, exactly what is changing, and what is staying the same, and what steps need to be taken by the all the employees to make sure that the comply with the new requirement. And also, we can say that that the communication policy should be clearly what the consequences are for the company if the corporate policies are not followed by the employees. Transparency. The policy should make clear what monitoring by the company will occur. This can help avoid employees' impressions that they are being spied on. So, likewise, employees' knowledge of the company monitoring often operates as a defense to charges that the company has violated employee policy. So the easier you make it for employees to find your change work policies, the easier it is for them to implement and adhere to them. So the worst thing you can do is to put any new employees rules in a place that they can't easily locate them. So this means if it lives on your intranet, for example, they have to search through many pages to find the information that's if they even know to look for it in the first place. So you should have a clear labeled and easy to find, and we can say that there should be like no confidential or hidden information that should be like transparent between the employees and the organization. So whenever you make changes or updates to this company manual, you should send communication employees outlining the changes and telling them where they can find the information. Know the limitations. The company's policy should not overreach. In many states, the law limits the company's right to discipline employees for certain types of personal electronic communication. Most notably, information regarding the employees' membership in a protected class, union activity will be there, political activity will be there, and whistleblowing. So, moreover, the company should not create a policy that is impractical because risk sending the message to employees that the policy will not actually enforced. So some policies and procedural changes have a major implications for their entire company or just a specific sections of it. So a good way to communicate a new policy to employees is by tapping into the leadership sources within your team and appointing the passionate employees with a solid understanding of the changes to be a champion. So among their person, among these person or among these their peers who can advocate the importance of the changes and also assist others to implement them. Education, companies should make reasonable efforts to inform employees of the policy. So, although it operates in a part as a legal protection to the company, the ultimate goal is to produce a policy that employees can understand and follow. In addition, not all the employees will understand why particular communications are prohibited. So sometimes policies and procedural changes will be complex and require a complete new approach to work practices. So when concepts are difficult to grasp, just writing them down and hoping for the best isn't going to be cut it. So you need to ensure that the employees are given appropriate training and a new procedure so that they can try out tasks in the way that is expected of them. So depending on the changes, you may need to roll out company-wide training at the beginning of the new initiative or just a required refresher, and a follow-up training should also be factored in if is there any necessary for that. So consultation, despite the complexity and the comprehensiveness of the any policy, situations will be inevitably arise that defy easy determination under the terms of the policy. So avoid problems of misinterpretations. Companies should encourage employees to use existing resources for clarification and interpretation of the policy. Whenever you are updating your employee policy handbook, it can be useful to get a feedback and assistance from the employees to ensure you hit the right mark. So you can do this by communicating a proposed new policy and procedures and providing them with a sample of what it will look like. So involving employees in the process provides them with the opportunity to ask a question and to give honest feedback about how easy your employee policy handbook is to understand and follow from their perspective. So you can also draw on their experiences of working at the coal face when writing company policies to ensure that any changes you are proposing are practical and that should be realistic. Organizational change. Organizational change is about weaving and modifying a management structures and a business process. So small businesses must adapt to survive against bigger competitors and grow. So the organizational change is the movement of an organization from one state of affairs to another. So organizational change can take many forms. So it may involve change in a company's structure, strategies, policies, procedure, or a technology adoption or a culture. So the change may be planned in years in advance or may be forced upon an organization because of a shift in the environment. So the organizational change can be a radical or alter the way an organization operates, and so it may be incremental and slowly change the way things are done. So in many cases, what happened regardless of the type, change involves letting go of the old ways in which work is done. So and adjusting to the new ways. Therefore, fundamentally, it is like a process that involves effective people management. So many times what happen, organizational change is often a response to change in the environment. For example, both the United States Departments of Labor and the Organization for Economic Cooperations and Development. So estimate that the age of workforce is the rise. So what does this mean for companies? So organization may realize that the workforce gets older, the types of benefits they prefer many changes. So work arrangements such as flexible work hours and job sharing may become more popular as employees remain in the workforce even after the retirement also. So as the workforce rapidly ages, so it also becomes responsible that the employees who are unhappy with their current work situation will choose to retire. And sometimes we have to be changed and motivated by the rapid development in the technology. So how technology changes, we have to adopt those things. And sometimes what happens, globalization is another threat, or we can say that the opportunity for the organization changes. So depending on their ability to adopt it, organizations are finding that it is often cheaper to produce goods and deliver services. So in some countries compared to others. So this led means many companies to utilize manufacturing facilities overseas. So for while knowledge of work was thought to be safe from outsourcing. So depending on the marketing conditions or market conditions, the organizational functions will be changed. So change in the market conditions may also create a change as a company's struggle to adjust. So depend on the organizational growth. So we can say that it is very natural for once small startup companies to grow if they are successful. So an example of this growth is the evolution of the company, and poor performance also cause for the organizational change. Change is more likely to happen if the company is performing poorly and if there is like a perceived threat from the environment. So like poorly performing companies often find it easier to change compared with the successful companies.